All right, everybody, welcome back to Life According to Nikki. Today, I have a scientist with us, my friend Ravi. Ravi, why don't you say hello to my loyal listeners?
Yep. Hello, my name's Ravi.
Okay, Ravi, why don't you first tell the listeners how we know each other?
Sure.
What's our meet cute?
We both stayed at the same college. I was already living here when Nikki came here at the start of this year, and we met in the dining hall. I did learn that you were from Utah from your accent, so...
From my accent?
Well, I could tell that you were American.
Oh, sure.
So I learned that you were American from your accent, and then you broke it down and explained exactly where that specific twang comes from.
The foothills, the mountain ranges of the Utah province.
Yep.
Where are you from, Ravi?
So I have spent the majority of my life in Sydney, so I would say that I'm from Sydney. And then I've been in Perth for the last 3.5 years, except for the last 2 months where I moved back home to Sydney and you got my room.
I did.
Yep.
And it's a very nice room, and I would like to thank you so much.
Yep, all
for
good.
Leaving so I could acquire it.
Yeah. Everyone else was like pretty exclusively sad about me leaving. You had a reason to not be.
I'm so sorry for that. But listen, it's because I know that, we're friends forever.
Yeah, of course.
And you're going to come to Utah and visit me. So to me, there's less sadness because any time that I really attach myself to someone else, it's like, no, I know that I'm stuck with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sorry about it. Like, you don't really have a choice. So it's not as sad for me because I know that I'm going to be just a thorn in your side for the rest of your life.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And everyone seems to really accept that and be okay with it. So I'm like, yeah.
I look forward to many more years.
Oh, good. Ravi, why don't you tell the people what you got your PhD in?
Okay. I just recently completed my PhD in astrophysics.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to see if I can turn down this AC because it is quite loud. The sound quality better have improved by like tenfold because I'm about to be sweating because I just sacrificed the AC. But the problem is if I open a window, then we have the sound from outdoors with all the buses. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a fan.
Oh, a handheld fan.
I'm going to leave this in the edit so everyone knows, the struggle that I'm having. Whew. Okay. Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm already hot, guys. It's summer. Today's like the first real day of summer. I feel like it because it's got up to 92 degrees today with 11 on the UV.
Yeah, sorry, the Fahrenheit hit me real hard.
Yeah. What is it in, what's today?
It was like 30.
30? Yeah, it's 30. See, that just doesn't have the significance that 92 does,
Fair. Okay, yep.
But, guys, in case you missed it with the AC on, astrophysics, that I have a friend who is an astrophysicist. And, when I take an inventory of just, like, all the skill sets that my friends have, man, is my team stacked. Like, you guys don't stand a chance. Because I got a freaking astrophysicist. He's, that box has been waiting to get checked. So, Ravi, thank you.
That's so sweet, but you're about to find out how useless this is.
No, it's all for the clout. Like, it's all for the clout anyways, okay? Yeah. But you really are so intelligent. See, that's the thing. Here's the thing about smart people is that you guys all have this, like, weird, like, humility complex. I don't know what it is, where you all don't think you're as smart as you are.
It's because we deal with ourselves every day.
Maybe that's what it is. You're constantly surrounded with people, like, at your level and that are just very intellectual. I don't think that necessarily, because we've talked about this, where you're smart in certain things. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because you are an astrophysicist that you're, like, super smart in everything, right? Mm-hmm. But your level of intellect, of thinking about things, I would say is above the national average.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. I. So, what you were describing kind of sounds like imposter syndrome. I would say that my imposter
Sure.
syndrome only goes as far as I don't think I'm like the best astrophysicist. I do think I'm like realistically I would be above average. That's hopefully not too arrogant to
No,
say.
no. Say that with
Um,
confidence. You have a PhD in astrophysics. I do think that you're allowed to say.
okay, when you say it loudly, it does sound more arrogant.
No! Are you kidding me? See, that's the thing is you guys are so humble and so like shy about it. Not all like, but the people I'm friends with, you
Yeah.
know, are just way too kind and just too good of people. I don't know how. I kind of come in here and poison you all. I'm like, everybody, you need to understand how great you are. You need, if anything, you guys need more arrogance. I think. But maybe that's because my ego's as big as the moon. So.
I will say I do know people in the field who could definitely be taken down a few notches. So it's also like there's the other end. It's I think in the same way that any field has a variety of people. There's like the extremes on both ends, and there's on average I would say people who I know are pretty reasonably. You can cut this out. This is bullshit. I people are relatively humble, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which, love that for you. Can't relate. But love that for you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I seek after friends that are really humble. Because I'm like, wow, what would that be like? You know, like, that's a trait I am after.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I'm at least self-aware enough to be like, I could use some more of that. But
I don't think of you as somebody who's arrogant. I think of you as somebody who's confident.
thank you.
And I think there's like a significant difference is that you seem to think that you also like have some significant limitations, which I think you could overcome, or that they're not really there. And I've heard you describe like my field, for example, as something that you could never understand, but it's also something you haven't really tried to understand beyond like me explaining things. So with a formal education, or even outside of formal education, there are other equivalent, like good methods of studying things.
Yeah.
But with a formal education, you could study this as well. Like I don't think this is something that's very specialized, and that people really need to be very highly intelligent and very like highly skilled or talented in just this one area to pursue. But something that it's a skill that you train in the same way that you train to like ride a bike.
So well put. I want you to know though, I have no interest.
Yeah.
Although, but I do have interest in, you know, the general things of how things work, which is what we're here today to discuss. Because I have just really enjoyed all of the conversations that we've had when you were living here before I stole your room. Like down in the dining hall when I would ask you like, how does this work? And you know, this fill in the blank, you know, it was just basically anything about the world and science, and you always just had a really great answer. So I thought that everyone could really benefit from me asking you, Ravi, how does this work? Because you're such a great teacher. But before we get to all of that, we need to talk about what you've been watching.
Oh no.
This is what matters to me. This
Okay.
is what's most important to me. You may like space, I like TV.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
TV, movies, books. Okay, what you've been watching, what needs to be on people's radar, what did you hate recently, any books that like changed your life, I don't know.
Technically, in recent history, I have been watching some movies. So in general, I don't watch movies or TV at all. It's not something that really interests me. It's not to say I'm not. When I say that, it sounds like I'm above media, but I actually just watch a lot of YouTube videos of.
Hey, that counts.
Yeah, I watch like a bit of science YouTube, but also a lot of like gaming content. So that's kind of what I enjoy.
Okay, yeah.
And then outside of that, I spend my time just actually playing the games if I'm not watching them. So movies and TV is not something I'm too involved in. But recently, because I was on a couple of flights on the plane, I watched a bunch of movies that I wanted to watch. I watched Turning Red, which was
I haven't seen
It was really a sweet movie that I think, as someone who has Asian heritage, I can really understand and appreciate the value that the movie brings to kind of explaining the dynamic that we have as immigrants from Asian culture coming into a Western society. So the movie is centered around like this little girl who comes from an Asian family, and she's living, I'm assuming, in America. The way that the cultural differences manifest in this movie is really, it is a fantasy movie, so she turns into a bear, like a red panda, but like it's representative of a lot of the pressures and things that we experience differently as immigrants in a Western culture, and the pressures that she is under because of her family having certain expectations, but also trying to fit in the West. I thought it was a really sweet movie that explored something that is a bit hard to explore, quite like nicely in a way that's like kid friendly. So yeah, I thought it was very sweet, but also like can really shed light on an issue.
Love that. Okay,
Yeah.
what else you got?
I watched Cruella, which
Okay.
until this point, because I'm on YouTube, I've seen a bunch of the movie through YouTube Shorts, and I thought, well, okay, at this point, I should just watch the movie. So when I saw it as an option on the plane, I decided to watch it. I thought it was a very interesting movie.
What do you mean by interesting? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
So my standards are fairly low for movies. I do like it. I liked it, but I don't know that it explored anything particularly interesting to me.
Yeah.
Fashion, nothing to say, not to say that anything about fashion is not interesting, but it just, the movie wasn't really trying to explore any like particularly dark themes. I think it was just trying to be the origin story for a like beloved Disney villain, and it did its job really well, and it was a very good movie. But just, I like when they try to explore something, and it just didn't do that, I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I actually really didn't like Cruella.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, for similar reasons. Yeah, I just felt like it was an empty, like, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't get to the depth of why. I don't even remember why she is Cruella. What created her again?
So the Baroness, who is her this is a spoiler, by the way. The Baroness, who is the biological mother of Cruella, she killed the woman that Cruella thought was her mother, who is the woman who was taking care of her, and who was essentially her mother in all ways that matter. She killed her when she was asking for money rather than giving her any, and Cruella watched that as a child, a small child. And she had stolen the necklace that she was wearing as well. So Cruella's kind of villain, or, I don't know, retribution arc was to get the necklace back and get revenge. And she ends up getting the Baroness arrested for her attempted murder, where she, quote unquote, looks like she dies in a similar way to her mother did. It's in that sense, it's kind of poetic, but I would have liked. I like when movies explore interesting things, and to me, it didn't. I will say the fashion in the movie was incredible. I actually really liked pretty much everything that was being put on the screen, but it was.
I don't even remember. This, honestly, you're saying this to me now, and I'm like, I don't. That sounds like an interesting plot, kind of. But
Yeah.
I remember that I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
But it's been quite a while because I watched it like when it dropped.
She made a dress out of garbage, and I thought it was the most incredible looking dress that I had seen in through the rest of the film. There was also one that was made out of like, I think they were cicada shells, or and the point of it was that it looks like beads, or like beetle shells. They look like beads, and then she made a dress out of it, hid it inside this vault where a bunch of other very expensive dresses were held, and then the beetles popped out of the shells and ate all the dresses. Oh, they were like moths or something. They destroyed all the dresses for the Baroness's show, so she ruined the show.
Gross. But smart.
Yeah, very smart.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, just the thought of like insects and stuff.
Yeah, fair.
Ew.
How have you survived in Australia? How have you...
I've been locked up in this tower. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
okay, fair. So, where we live is very manicured. There are very few bugs, although we did have to kill a mosquito before this podcast started. So
That's true. And I have mosquito nets on my windows.
they'll find a way.
Oh my gosh. How many times have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters since it came out?
So, I have only seen it once.
What?
But I am very in love with that movie. I think it is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I thought for sure you would have seen it multiple times now.
That's just the thing. Like, I can't get myself to voluntarily watch a movie unless I'm sort of trapped in a plane where there's nothing else to do. So the reason that I watched K-pop Demon Hunters the first time was that I was trapped with some friends who told me you're watching K-pop Demon Hunters, and then I really loved it. It's again like one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's not something I can get myself to really do.
Okay, see the playlist. Oh my gosh! Ever since I watched it, that has just been
Same.
constant. I listened to it yesterday.
Yeah. I think I listened to it on the walk over here from the office.
Guys, if you have not yet seen K-pop Demon Hunters, at the very, very least, you need to be listening to the soundtrack. Like, that just goes way too hard. Mm-hmm. It didn't need to be that good. But the song Golden, oh my gosh, what did it, like, go triple platinum or something recently? I don't know.
Wouldn't know. I don't keep track, but
it's gotten, like, all the high awards. It's so good. It's so good. All right, I think that this is good for this section. Ravi, starting off, can you explain how dinosaurs happened and why they're gone?
Okay. So I have to preface any descriptions that I give with the statement that I studied a PhD in astrophysics. It doesn't mean that I have an understanding of genealogy, of the history of the Earth necessarily. I do want to say that very specifically when I study astrophysics, and when I say that, I studied a very niche specific part of it, which means that even within the realm of astrophysics, there will be a lot of things that I don't really understand. So I will try to explain things as best I can.
Yeah.
With this, which could fall into like paleontology, probably is the one that you would be looking into. Sure. I can describe a little bit about how life in general came about, and then dinosaurs is an extension of that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And with the caveat of, can you explain it to me like I'm 5?
Okay.
No, maybe 10. Like a basic 10-year-old understanding level.
Sure.
Because I feel like when it comes to, the sciencey things, I at one point maybe I learned it, maybe I don't know, but I'm not understanding dinosaurs were here, then there was like the Earth was ice, and there was some sort of bomb or something, and then humans. Like, can you help me with that timeline?
Okay, sure. So regarding the exact order in which things happened, the different periods that people refer to in human or in the Earth's history, I won't be able to help you too much.
No, that's okay. Honestly, the less details, the better.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with main topic points here.
Yeah. So I can describe how life in general began.
Beautiful.
And I can describe how the dinosaurs died.
Perfect.
That's the limit.
Perfect.
So, okay, so like you're 10. So a long time ago, an experiment was conducted by some scientists. When I say a long time ago, I don't remember how long a time ago it was. But this experiment aimed to prove whether or not the fundamental molecules, or like just the things that we're made of, could form without the intervention of something forcing them together. So this is essentially saying, can the things that make up life form on their own?
Okay.
For this experiment, the scientists recreated the initial conditions that we believe the Earth to have been under. So the Earth very early on had lots of carbon dioxide and nitrogen and oxygen, as these are like just elements that exist in the air in various quantities. That the exact ratios of these elements has changed throughout the Earth's history, but I don't. We're moving on. I don't care. And there are also some elements that are present in the soil of the Earth, things that are present in the water, and they just kind of recreated all of this in a chamber that is pure in that it doesn't have any bacteria already in it or anything any life. Nothing in there was alive as it was.
Okay.
And then what these scientists had done, and I really wish I'd looked up their names before this conversation, but what they had done was they ran an electric current into this. So this was meant to simulate lightning. So some kind of energy input into this really stable environment. And then they tried to observe what this did to the mixture of molecules that already existed there. And what they observed was that you started to form the very fundamental, what they're called amino acids, which is different combinations of molecules that make up everything that we are sort of made of. So all the proteins in the human body can be built out of a class of these molecules called amino acids. There's about 40 of them, or there might be exactly 40, I don't know. And what they were seeing is that, you can start to make these self-replicating basic molecules just from having this space that has nothing in it but the original things that the Earth was made of and the atmosphere was made of, and just some energy input like lightning. So this experiment proved that, you can basically start the very, very, very basic life from just the initial conditions that the Earth is believed to have been in, and it managed to prove that.
Okay, in this box, let's say it's a clear box.
Yeah.
Carbon, oxygen, and what was it?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. How is that being pumped in?
So
is it to the human eye? Does it look like an empty box? Because this is where I'm at. Like, you say these things, and I'm like, yeah, heard of that.
Yeah.
But but then I'm like, where are we getting carbon, nitrogen, oxygen's all around us, right, from the trees?
Yeah. Oh yeah, good job. So nitrogen, there is more nitrogen in the air than there is oxygen by a significant amount.
What?
There is about 4 times as much nitrogen that you're breathing in than oxygen.
Okay.
So the atmosphere is made up of a mixture of different chemicals. Nitrogen it's a basic element, nitrogen. In the air, this is an unnecessary detail, don't worry about it. In the air, we have nitrogen and oxygen in significant quantities, and then we have things like carbon dioxide and all that in very small quantities.
Okay.
The majority of what you're breathing in is nitrogen and oxygen. Your body is just processing the oxygen. It doesn't really use the nitrogen.
What does it do with the nitrogen?
You breathe it back out.
Oh, so you just inhale it, exhale it.
Yeah. This is for respiration specifically. I'm sure your body is somehow using some of this nitrogen. I will also say that experiments have been done on the different concentrations of oxygen. If you change it a little bit, it's okay. If you change the concentration of oxygen too much in what we're breathing, then it's not good for us.
What about people that have oxygen tanks?
What about them?
Yeah, they're just inhaling straight oxygen. Is that or is there nitrogen in there?
I'm assuming there is nitrogen in there. So humans can't survive on pure oxygen.
What?
Yeah. So.
This is such news.
Yeah. So the thing is, the respiratory system is really good at taking the oxygen out of what you're breathing in, and if you have too much oxygen, then you can change the acidity of your blood, and it's really bad for you. So these are things that need to be in balance. You can't have too much.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes when somebody's having a panic attack and they're breathing very heavily, the reason you're giving them a bag is to kind of help them get some carbon dioxide in there as well, so they're not just inhaling so much oxygen and changing the blood pH.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so going back to the question with the box.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we getting? They're just they just put a box and then how are they pumping?
So
where are we getting it?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
So You can create like an almost perfect vacuum, or you can create pretty close to a perfect vacuum in any chamber. A vacuum is just a space where you've removed all the air, so there is nothing inside there.
How do you make it where it has nothing?
So you just there isn't an easy way to explain this part.
Okay, you know what? That's okay. That one we can put a pin in.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, you just can.
Yeah,
Remember,
so-
I'm 10, so you can like tell me
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Where
Okay,
it's like
cool.
that's just the way it is.
So if you have a box in like on a table, then it will fill with air. Well, that's just like how it does. If you seal it and then take all the air out, then it becomes a vacuum. That's like the vacuum cleaner. The whole point of it is that it's like pumping the air through it. So like, yeah. So you pump all the air out of this box, and now the box has no air in it. Then you can add elements in to however you want, however much you want, just based on like you can. The easy answer is that you can buy these elements. Like you can, like chemists kind of have like tubs of different chemicals. You can have, if you pressurize things, you can have liquid, like the canisters of oxygen, like people who are breathing things in, that you're buying that from somewhere. It's a chemist somewhere in a lab has processed oxygen or nitrogen from some process that is like very niche and specific, and I don't know how they're getting it exactly, but
Okay.
but they can just get it and you can put it into a can and just like these are things you can buy.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Are they all gas? Like they're all, like
So-
carbon dioxide, nitrogen. Is this a kind of like helium?
Yeah,
Like-
sure, it's like helium. Everything that exists in the state of like gas, you can also get it in like a liquid state or in a solid state or in there's more than 3 states of matter, but don't worry about that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like the state in which something exists depends on the pressure that it is experiencing, the temperature it's experiencing. So you can get liquid oxygen if you just pressurize it enough or if you cool it down enough.
Liquid oxygen.
Yeah.
What do we use? Do we use that?
I'm sure we use it somewhere. I wouldn't really know.
Liquid oxygen. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The temperature at which this needs to be a liquid is really, really low. You can theoretically also have solid oxygen.
So like, let's say someone drank oxygen.
So the temperature of that would be so low that I think the person is going to immediately just like have like their tongue freeze or whatever.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, these are very, very low temperatures. You've seen liquid nitrogen before, right?
Okay. Yes.
Liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah.
Because there's a place that does ice cream using liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've never really thought about that. That
Yeah.
like, it comes out of a spout
Mhm.
like water, but
Yeah.
it's nitrogen, and then like instantly freezes the liquid into ice cream.
Yeah, so the part of it that's doing the freezing is the fact that it just had to be cold. It doesn't really matter that it was nitrogen. After it's frozen the thing by cooling it down, the nitrogen is boiling in the room temperature that we're existing in, because nitrogen likes to exist under the pressure that we are experiencing. Nitrogen likes to exist as a gas. So does oxygen, so does carbon dioxide. But if you pressurize things and lower their temperature, then you can change the state that they exist in. So
Wow.
dry ice, for example, is just solid carbon dioxide. And if you leave it out without pressurizing it or like reducing it to the correct temperatures, then it dissipates into a gas and you see the gas. That's the point of dry ice usually, is to like create this gassy effect. It's just carbon dioxide.
Oh my gosh. See, when you explain things like this, you do it so well that all of a sudden, like, things are clicking that I've seen my whole life, or like I do know.
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide, dry ice, like, but it's just never, those dots have never connected.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, when you pour soda on on dry ice,
It
so like
should get cold.
So yeah, exactly, but it's also not. It's not adding carbon dioxide to that like punch, right? It's just because it's like it's going into a gas.
Well, if you release a gas into a liquid, some of the gas is going to dissolve in the liquid.
Is that good?
Yeah, carbon dioxide is used to, what's it called? Bubble your drink, like
Yeah.
to make it bubbly. So like sodas and all that, they've done that already. So
Oh my
when you
gosh.
drink Coke and stuff, like that's already
Because
had
it's carbonated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! It's carbonated.
It is carbonated, yeah. That's good job.
That's what that means.
Yep.
So wait, how much carbon dioxide? People are gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, Nikki's so stupid.
No.
But I know for a freaking fact there's gonna be multiple people that listen to this that are having the same aha moment as me, and that is why I'm gonna release this episode, okay? Because girl, you ain't alone. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. How much carbon dioxide is in soda?
Oh, I don't know. I
Okay.
have no clue.
But so how? Oh my! Now I want to know like how they make that. So they just like pump it into the soda.
Again, I don't know this. Like, so when it comes to like very specifically like for a soda of whatever brand, their brand, the methods that they use, the technology they use, I don't know because I don't work there. But like the principles, the scientific principles behind it, I understand.
Carbonated.
Yes. Well.
It has carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
An element. Is it an element?
So it's a compound. Because carbon and dioxide refers to two oxygen. So carbon dioxide has one carbon and two oxygen molecules, which combine to make the one big molecule of carbon dioxide.
Wow. Okay. What? Okay, this is just. I have so many questions, but you know what? Okay, going back to dinosaurs.
Yeah, I forgot where this started.
See, this is why our conversations are always so fun. Because
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait.
Yeah.
This is actually connecting. And you're seeing it happen in real time, me connecting these dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
No, that's all good.
Okay, the dinosaurs.
Yeah. So, just regarding the first life, I think I left it off pretty well. Just saying,
Yes.
like, yeah, the very first, like, self-replicating molecules were able to be formed from just these basic elements and a bit of energy through the electricity.
Okay. But you're saying that you can produce life from
You can produce... okay.
amino acids.
Yeah, like, it depends on what you define life as.
Oh,
because, like, if a molecule is self-replicating, or, like, it contains the information to, like, self-replicate, is that life yet? It's, like, it might need to make something that's a bit more complicated until you have a cell. Some people would refer to, like, single cellular life as life. But, you know, really it depends on how you define life. The point of this is that, like, the fundamental things that we are made of can come from the natural things that existed in the earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So then dinosaurs, how do we get there?
A long process of evolution can take you from some very, very basic fundamental cells, and like once you get from one cell, then some cells start like working together to become a larger object or a larger like being that can like perform more complicated tasks. So you can go from something that's very, very small, like a singular cell, to not that singular cells can't do a lot. Bacteria exist and they are single cellular things and they can do a lot of damage, or they can be very good for you. But for example, like a rat is a combination of millions and millions and millions of these cells. Each of them is like completing all these tasks that it needs in order for the entire being to survive. And you can go from single cellular things to multicellular things to larger multicellular things to things that are as big as dinosaurs.
So that took a long time.
Yeah, so scientifically speaking, the Earth is 4.5 billion years old.
Jeez.
So a lot of this time wasn't spent with life on it, because the Earth formed from things left over from forming the sun and the other planets. And it took a long time for all of these like very heated molecules and elements to combine to form the Earth, and then it needed to cool down. It went through a lot of different processes where it formed an atmosphere, it formed I don't know, the land, the seas, all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the Earth's history is spent without life on it, but then a lot of it is also spent with life of different levels on it.
Why then? So we have the dinosaurs,
Mhm.
ginormous,
Yeah.
huge.
Yep.
Why no one huge now?
So actually, that's
if we've evolved more.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing to talk about because regarding we were talking about how much oxygen there is in the atmosphere before.
Okay.
That number has changed throughout the Earth's history. In the past, like not going back to as far as the dinosaurs, but not in any human lifetime. For example, insects used to be really big, and these are things that can get bigger with the different concentrations of elements that you have. So
Really?
if you have a very oxygen-rich atmosphere, you can get very large insects, and that's what we've sort of observed. Nowadays, we have like a lower concentration of oxygen, so like insects are very small. A lot of mammals are kind of on the smaller end. If you are a very large creature, you require so much maintenance in terms of input of energy, input of material into your body, which is eating, to maintain that size. So in general, this is not a very practical thing to achieve. It's really hard for things to get big, and that's why like the majority of things that exist on the Earth are very small things. Like you've probably heard that like the mass of ants that exist is like a really, really large number compared to the mass of all humans. Like if you just compared the two, then there are way more of these really, really small creatures than there are of the large creatures. It's really hard for like larger creatures to exist because it just takes a lot more maintenance.
Wow. Okay, wait, so what happened to the dinosaurs? wait, so they were all existing.
Sure.
Let's
yeah.
say there's more oxygen, there was more nitrogen, there was more like of these elements to keep these big things going. Where'd they all go?
So the leading theory, the story that is currently just what we believe, is that the Earth was hit with a giant asteroid. We can see the crater of a giant asteroid somewhere like in the Mexico, somewhere in that region of the Earth. There is like a giant hole where an asteroid hit the Earth.
Okay.
And is it Mexico? I don't know. Again, I'm not a paleontologist.
He's just an astrophysicist, okay?
Yeah.
He doesn't know it all.
But there's a giant crater that shows that the Earth was hit with a really significantly sized meteor, or when it hits the Earth, it's called a meteorite. And this impact ended up blanketing the Earth in a lot of dust and gases that prevented sunlight from like reaching the ground, and a lot of things began to die because of not only the blanketing through that, but because this giant impact caused a lot of volcanoes to erupt. These volcanoes were releasing a bunch of gas from the inside of the Earth out. This is all very toxic, and a lot of the things that lived on the surface of land died. A lot of things in the ocean may have died as well, but there are some specific creatures that survived through this.
Like what?
Alligators, crocodiles.
What?
Yeah, so crocodiles existed at the same time as this, and they're still around.
What?
They're very prehistoric. There's also, like, dragonflies have existed since the same time that dinosaurs did. I think sharks. I think so. I think sharks have survived since then as well.
How long do alligators live?
Oh, one alligator didn't survive from then till now. They continued.
No. No. That I know.
Yeah.
That I know. But I'm just thinking like alligator history. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the alligators being like, remember great, how many greats back Grandpa Alligator, like, was around when the meteor hit. Like, I'm just thinking of like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just being dumb.
No. I don't know. I don't know how long alligators live.
Sorry, I just assume that you know everything.
No, that's okay. Yeah, when it comes to biology and like that stuff, I did high school level.
Okay,
Yeah.
so meteorite hits, toxins released, no sunlight, darkness, everything dies.
Mm-hmm.
Then how did we get, like, what? So then it just, like, dissipated eventually, and then we started over?
Yeah, kind of. So, like, you can...
Do we love how this has nothing to do with astrophysics? And I'm like, can you please explain the origins of here?
Yeah. So, like, okay. So the fact that the Earth is now, like, very blanketed in all this, like, really thick fog that is preventing sunlight from reaching it causes it to cool down. I think you go through an ice age at this point. I don't really know.
Oh, I've seen those movies,
yeah. But yeah, like, eventually things do dissipate. Like, if you start having plants again, then they start to absorb things like carbon dioxide. If you start having, I think the major absorber of carbon dioxide is actually like seaweed or algae or something in the seas as well. But like plants in general, they do work. Things begin to, like, things that survive from the previous round, but also, like, you can form new life in the same way. There's still all those fundamental elements are still around to form it again. You can have life begin again. It's just like at any point when you destroy it all, it can start over.
Is that not beautiful? That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's like, if we're going like meta about it, like that's such a sweet sentiment.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
Like life can start again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're just saying that the reason there wasn't humans the first time around was because of the elements in the
it's like
air.
Mammals are a bit harder to form, I think, than just because dinosaurs were reptiles and all that. Like, it's like when you're getting to more complicated body structures, like mammals are warm-blooded, for example, like we self-regulate our own temperature and things like that, whereas they rely on the sun. When you get to like more complicated, I think they did have some really early mammals as well, but like we are harder to form, so it takes more. And also, if there are dinosaurs around, we don't stand a chance.
Right.
There's the what determines what gets to exist is what pressures exist at that time. So yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. Because we're going to take it into your realm, into space.
Yes, please.
Okay, so...
I probably made so many paleontologists and biologists mad with, like, poorly explaining or missing information, but yeah.
Well, I know so many paleontologists and...
I'll
be getting nothing but calls!
If I got anything, like, drastically wrong, please cut it out. Like, I will check later.
Take it up with me. That's hilarious. You think I'm going to be able to figure out what part wasn't correct?
I will check after this and let you know where to cut things out. I
just found out that carbon is in soda.
Oh dear. This is why we need Lucy. She studies the Earth. She's probably better equipped to tell you about what existed on the Earth.
We're going to talk to her about rocks.
Okay.
Like, I think that she probably does know all of this, but you know what? I wanted to ask you, so...
Okay, great.
Because Lucy hasn't agreed to come on my pod yet. Yes, Lucy, I'm calling you out. So, you know what? If you did get it wrong, that's on Lucy.
Yeah.
For not agreeing. But you know what, girl? No pressure. But I do, mark my words, everybody. I'm going to get a geologist up in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get all the sciencey people. Okay, so... We're talking about, like, there's these different elements that create... So, I really would love to know your thoughts on life on other planets.
Okay.
And whether or not you believe that... Because, we say, like, we couldn't exist. Sure, whatever. But, like, you're telling me, in all of the galaxies and all of the Milky Ways and all the whatevers that you study, that there is not a single... bit of, like, anything on any of those planets. We're the only one when they all have elements that you're saying could make up some sort of life form?
So, that is not what I'm saying. I do think there could be life out there.
Ooh, Okay, I want to hear about this.
Yeah, just like with like exactly how you said, with like the millions of different galaxies that exist, each of them having billions of stars, and many of those stars having planets around them, even moons around planets potentially could host life. Right, sorry. For those listening, Nikki just made an expression. Yeah, so there are some theories around like perhaps some of the moons around Jupiter and Saturn have the conditions necessary to have once held life. Maybe not now, but in the past. Or there's theories that maybe Venus in the past had held life, or Mars in the past had held life.
Why not anymore?
So the conditions for life as we know it, and I need to really specify that it's as we know it, because what we think is required for life is only what we can observe with the conditions that we observe on the Earth, which is you need to be a certain distance from the sun in order to have liquid water. Water is one of the things that we have decided you need for life, and that certain distance is what's called the Goldilocks zone. It's a set like radius away from the sun. Earth exists in this zone, so we have liquid water, but if there was any water on Venus, it would have evaporated. If there was any water on Mars, it would have frozen.
Oh.
So they're like outside of these ranges.
Oh, I get it. Goldilocks, too hot and too cold.
Yep, well done.
Ah! Science!
Yeah. So the Earth exists under like some set conditions that help life.
It's just right.
Yeah, it's just right. But there's nothing to say that this set of conditions don't exist around plenty of other stars out there with their own planets who happen to be at these like different distances from it. Given that there are so many other galaxies, and each of these galaxies has so many stars, and not all the stars, but a lot of these stars have planets around them, I think it's almost certain that somewhere out there will be a planet with life. But I also think that we will never find it.
Oh, what kind of life? Do you think it would be similar to like what we have here, in your scientific opinion?
So, so I have like a personal opinion and like a scientific opinion.
Ooh, personal.
Okay.
Forget science.
So my personal opinion is that life will look very different on these other planets, because even though we've decided that we need the specific set of elements in like certain concentrations and stuff to have life form on its own, the circumstances that the Earth has gone under, probably the exact same thing hasn't happened exactly in other places, but it's happened similarly, and maybe they have different pressures. Like for example, I don't know if this is going to be a very good example, but life that forms or like has come to certain islands on the Earth forms and looks very different from life on like the main like larger continents, I guess. So Australia has very unique wildlife. We are so far away from everything else because the conditions that we have here are very different. We are isolated, so we don't experience pressures from outside animals, but like something from Europe can technically go over to Asia and affect it in some way or the other. If you can like introduce a predator that doesn't have any like anything that's threatening it, and it goes to a place where life isn't used to it being there, then it has a really easy time finding prey that doesn't know how to defend itself against this predator. But a place like Australia is very isolated until people started coming here and bringing things in. Its wildlife was completely unique compared to what exists in the rest of the world. So in the same way, like on another planet, I don't think you're going to have kangaroos and koalas, and you're not going to have snakes in the same way, but you're going to have some things that look sort of like this.
Like Avatar.
Sure, yeah. So like
Blue People Avatar.
Yeah.
Where
like,
they have like creatures.
Yeah. They'll have
Ponderosa or whatever.
I watched that movie when I was like 12. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good movie. Okay.
Yeah. But like yeah,
Pandora?
like the yeah, it might have been Pandora.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
The pressures that will exist on these other planets will look different. So the creatures that you will get will look very different.
Would you like to know another dot that's connecting for me now?
Yeah, sure.
When you're saying, I'm like, yeah, you're so right. kangaroos. Like, those aren't anywhere else.
Yeah. So,
like, what? Where? That's so crazy to think about. That, like, kangaroo as a creature is unique to this region. Like, how did a kangaroo even exist when they're, like, and then there's tigers, like,
yep.
or, like, a moose, like, in Canada. Yeah, like, these creatures are so different.
Yeah, and you can sort of, like, see how the specific pressures that Australia experiences lead to the certain animals that we have, or certain plants. I think it's easier with plants.
Okay.
So, a lot of plants in the rest of the world look very beautiful and delicate, but in Australia they're really hardy, and they need to be because this place is bloody hot, and the way that a lot of like Australia experiences a lot of bushfires, for example, but we have trees that require bushfires in order to reproduce.
What?
Like, the things have evolved here under a very different set of pressures where they, like, I don't want to say, like, the plants know that this is necessary to survive, but, like, they, in order to survive, they needed to develop these differences that you don't see anywhere else in the world because you don't really worry about consistent yearly bushfires in other places in the world.
Wow. I hope you know that while you're talking, I mean, like, I feel like there's so many things that are going on in my own head, honestly, from, like, a religious standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm so analogy based, like, everything that I think of really is, like, very metaphorical analogy and all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, like, these are so, there's some really good stuff here. Like, when it comes to what is it, philosophical, like, what you're talking about, like, the pressure of the bushfires. Anyways, I just want you all to know that, like, one day I'm probably gonna, like, have some coherent thought about this. I'm gonna give a talk on this one day about the bushes that somehow need bushfires. Whatever you just said,
Yeah.
that really clicked in my head. And I was like, that is, like, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, anyways, go science.
Yeah. So that, going back to, like, life on other planets, yes,
Yeah.
I think there will be life on other planets because it's, like, a statistical certainty in the same way that you're like, yeah, there's so many other places for it to exist.
Right.
It's just that I don't think it'll look anything like it does over here, in a personal opinion.
Okay, aliens.
Yeah.
Real or not real?
Like little green men aliens?
No. Like, other people from other planets
Oh.
invading. Well, or just, like, being here, like, existing here. Aliens among us, but, like, we don't know.
So,
true or not true?
So no, I don't think that intelligent life has infiltrated the Earth at all. And this is like I would need to see a lot of evidence to the contrary.
Okay, the pyramids. What's your opinion on the pyramids? How did they do it?
But, so, okay.
Aliens or real people?
So, something that I think
Yeah,
in general happens when paleontologists or historians look back on paleontologist was a bad word for that, but, like, people who look back through ancient technologies and ancient methods of doing anything, they look at it with potentially the lens of how could these people have possibly known to do this thing, to achieve this. The pyramids isn't even, like, what I think is the prime example of, like, ancient technology being so advanced.
Do tell.
There's like, I'm struggling to remember what it was called, but there is, like, in the ocean somewhere in Greece, would we call that an ocean? In the sea somewhere in Greece, not all that long ago, they found what it is the equivalent of, like, an ancient computer.
What?
And it's a device that was able to be used to follow the stars astronomically, and you can use... Oh, I should read up on things. Like, this is, the preparation needs to be there. I wish I had any time to look into this beforehand. But there is like really, really ancient technology that is also really, really advanced, and people don't know like how could they have possibly come up with the precision to do this, or how could they have possibly built this with what they had. And I think the answer is we just really underestimate what people were capable of. Like, I don't think you need an alien intervention to do things like pull a sandstone block across the sand. I think you just need to like grant that these people a long time ago were more advanced than we're giving credit. Because it's like, it's not just in ancient Egypt where these like sand blocks were moved and this entire giant thing was built, and it's like suddenly, wow, they couldn't have done this. In ancient Greece, there is this that exists. This type of like looking back retrospectively and trying to understand how could people have possibly done this is something that you can do all over the world. It's not unique to one place. And it's just like, people need to stop underestimating what people were capable of.
Maybe it's because we're so stupid now. It's like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way they did that without ChatGPT.
That's a take.
Oh, you know what? You're so right. We've always been capable. Go humans.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are we at time-wise? Okay. Okay, if nothing can go faster than light, how do we see light from billions of years ago?
Yes. Okay. So this is very specifically what I study, which is
That's why I asked.
Yeah. So this is the first question that is exactly what I'm studying.
This is your niche area of astrophysics.
Yeah. So it's a good question.
Oh wait, actually, before you get into this,
Yep.
Really quick, let me explain your PhD.
Okay.
Everybody, this is what Ravi studied. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Do you want me to interrupt? Or do you want me to wait?
Honestly, do what feels right. Feel free to interrupt.
I will hold my tongue as long as I can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, here's the layman's version. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ravi got his PhD in understanding the origins of the Big Bang, really of Earth's existence. How am I doing so far? Should I keep going?
I'm gonna let you keep going.
Okay, you know what? I'll tell my version and then you.
Yeah. Just tell the version. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, he spent every day looking at galaxies, but not just any galaxies, because there's millions and billions and whatever of galaxies. He specifically was looking at the oldest galaxies to ever exist. Do I know how that works? No, we're moving on. So he looked at the oldest galaxies, and what he was really looking at was the light that was emitted from... He's nodding aggressively. Yep. I'm on track.
Yep.
Okay, the light that was emitted from these bursts of stars exploding or like running into each other or forming something with the stars.
Forming, yep.
Forming, okay. So like when these stars are formed, they have an explosion. They emit light.
They emit light, yeah.
They emit light when that happens. And when you look at the light that they emitted, then they have these signatures attached to them. So basically you can see like, okay, when this star was formed, what it did is it actually formed like thousands of stars and like formed other things. I don't know, you can somehow tell the like history and story by the signatures in the light. And I'm getting like a so-so on that one. Okay, so he was specifically looking for a signature of when the light disappears or is like absorbed into the atmosphere. This is where it gets tricky. So
You're doing pretty well so far, I will say.
So the signature that he was specifically looking for is very difficult to find because other ones are like really clear. You can like read the signatures and be like, yep, that one is Sally and this one's Bob. And Sally means this and Bob means that. But his signature absorbs into other ones. So basically he's trying to find the light that disappeared. And that has its own signature, but it's hidden. And he was looking for it for years. I don't know what that means. I don't know why. But I think the core of it was to find out, like, how it all began. Because if you can trace back the part that was absorbed, the part that you can't find, you'll find the answers of where it all started. Like, the timeline, exact date, if you will, of the Big Bang. Okay, percentage-wise, how'd I do?
So, I think toward the middle and end, not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
How, like, what's that? like
the basic premise is like 60-70%. Like,
whoa, way higher than I thought.
Yeah, you did great.
I was really thinking I was at 30.
Okay,
so.
no, you're doing
oh my
awesome.
gosh, guys. Wow.
Okay, so I'm not studying the Big Bang specifically.
Oh, okay.
So that happened at the beginning of the universe was the Big Bang.
Okay.
If you count forward a couple of 100 million years, which in the time span of the universe is not very long, that's when you started to get some of the first galaxies. So that's sort of where I'm starting. Is
the starting of the galaxies.
Yeah.
Okay, you care about the galaxies.
Yeah. Basically, what my PhD was trying to do or what I was trying to do in my PhD, is look at the very first galaxies that formed in the universe and detect, as you said, some signatures from them, which were signatures of really high energy activity, like star formation. So when you form stars, it's not specifically the formation of the stars that is releasing this light, but those stars themselves, like our sun releases light, but different stars release different types of light. When I say a type of light, you've heard of like ultraviolet light, for example, or optical being the colored light that you can see. You might have heard of infrared before. That's another type of light. Even like radio waves and microwaves, those are types of light. You've heard of X-rays too, sure. Yeah, all these things are different wavelengths of light.
Okay.
If you observe our sun, the light that it emits, a lot of it is in what we can see in the optical range. Some of it is in the ultraviolet, which we can't observe, but we can detect. Some of it will be in the infrared, but the majority of it is like, the sun has a color that is based on the light that it is emitting. We can see this. If you have a star that is much smaller than the sun, then it looks redder. It looks, red means cool, not hot.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So it looks redder. Smaller stars don't work as well as a star like the sun. And so the light that it emits is mostly going to be toward the redder side, which is like infrared light can be emitted from it, less ultraviolet. I'm looking at stars that formed at the beginning of the universe, or the beginning of galaxy formation. And these stars are enormous, enormous stars, larger than anything that can form today. Okay. And these really, really massive stars are very blue, which means very hot. And they emitted a lot of their light in the ultraviolet region. So, like, you'd immediately get cancer and die. Like, it's not, like, the level of ultraviolet is the peak of their emissions. Okay. And that's the signature that I'm looking for. That really high energy emission tells me that they had these really, really massive stars.
Wow, you explained that so well. Okay, wait. So these signatures, basically what the signature is telling you is whether it was like red or blue.
Yeah. And
then color is going to tell you hot or cold.
Yeah.
Signatures, are we looking for cursive? Like, what is this? Like, when you say signature,
yeah,
What does that mean?
So
Is this a data, but numbers?
So I describe things in terms of like a general wavelength, where I was like, infrared is on one side, ultraviolet is on the other, optical, what you can see is kind of in the middle.
Okay.
The signature is very specifically light that is below a certain wavelength, which means that it is ultraviolet of a certain amount. Because you can have ultraviolet that is above this.
Sure.
This signature is just really like the cutoff limit where the light has enough energy that things that it will be absorbed by like molecules and atoms and things that are out there in space. And the very, very early universe was filled with gas, essentially.
Okay.
So the gas was hydrogen gas, meaning that there was a hydrogen atom with an electron attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got an atom of hydrogen, which is just like a very small atom, and an electron kind of orbiting around it.
Okay.
The amount of energy required to get that electron to stop orbiting it and to fly off is that signature. So that level will rip that electron off, and it turns the atom from an atom into just a proton and an electron that are separate. So the center of the atom is ripped away from the orbiting thing.
Yeah.
And what this does is it changes the way that light is being absorbed by this gas. So if you have a screen of this gas and you're chucking this light into it, it's going to be absorbed, but you're absorbing it until you've ripped all the electrons off. And once you have ripped all of these off, light can start passing through it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can think of the light from these stars as like a destructive beam that is destroying the gas in its path.
Okay.
And
okay.
I'm trying to work out how long it took basically for the stars in these very, very early galaxies to rip it all apart, because the universe we live in today is not filled with all of this gas. It's got all of these all of these hydrogen atoms that have been ripped away from their electrons.
And why? Do we care?
So there's
Sorry.
that's no fair call. The point is that anything that we are observing is going to be foggy beyond this gas. So anything behind it is really hard to see.
Okay.
If you want to observe something like the initial signatures of the Big Bang itself, which is going back to what you were saying, the cosmic microwave background radiation. Have you heard of that term before?
Yep.
Cool. That was the signature of the Big Bang.
Oh, radiation.
Yeah.
Oh.
So because that happened before, there's this gas that sort of prevents us from being able to see it very clearly. So like radiation from galaxies, radiation from the origins of the universe, all of these things are really hard to piece together until we work out like exactly what properties were occurring in this gas. Like once we can work this out, then we can work out how to like discombobulate that information so that we can understand it the way it should have been, rather than what we can observe through the gas.
Wow. Okay, hold on. I need a break.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on, my brain. Okay, I'm with you though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am understanding what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, hold on, what is even my question? See, this is the part of like the lesson where, not lesson, but I feel like I've been in a lesson. Like, I feel like I've learned so much.
I'm so sorry.
No, this has been fantastic. This is literally what I wanted.
Yeah.
But this is the point where like my brain's like, whoa. I think we've hit our cap on like what I can learn. Because
Yep.
I'm like, there's so many more questions, but then also I'm like, I need a break. So this is why like people like you need to exist, because I would reach my limit so quick of just conceptualizing everything. Okay, I guess my real question is, when it comes to space, galaxies, all of this in general, is it helpful for us, like, here now, to learn about, like, where is the significance coming in learning about all this stuff that is, like, 11 billion years ago?
Yeah.
how does it like kind of affect us? Because obviously there's so many millions of people in this field and like that love this and because it's so far removed from like where my brain goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so help me conceptualize, like, why is this important to, or just even interesting to it, to learn about,
Yeah,
or to know about.
So for, is what I'm studying important? That's really debatable.
I think everything,
The justification that I would come up with is like, well, it's part of human nature to want to understand the things around us.
Yeah.
And this is a continual expansion of the understanding that everyone through human history has worked towards. Everything that we're studying now is built upon the work done by so many people in the past. We're just continuing that. So it's sort of just part of human nature to want to learn more.
Yeah.
The limit of our understanding right now is these questions that are so like specific in each field. Like within astronomy, I'm studying galaxies. Within galaxies, I'm studying the early ones that existed, the stars that they had, the light that they were emitting, how this was affecting something very specific and niche.
Yeah.
So that's where we've gotten through like all of human history. Everything kind of been building up towards these questions of, well, how long did this take to happen, and how did it happen? Which types of galaxies were creating these stars? All these questions. There's different types of galaxies, by the way, but let's not get into that. But like these, this is just kind of the thing that everyone's work is sort of built up to throughout history, and it would be a real shame to stop now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this totally makes sense because, at least what I'm hearing is you're saying that maybe they had these questions a while ago, but they probably had different questions that weren't able to be that specific because they didn't even have the most basic answers of like, are there more galaxies? Like, are there galaxies? Like, maybe it like started there and then like, what happened to this and blah, blah. And so now you're saying that the more that we study these types of questions, then the more we can evolve to newer questions that are more specific, and then that can help us gain a better understanding of
just everything.
Life.
Yeah, so if you think about it, if you go back to the time of like Plato or Socrates, like just all these people who existed a very long time ago, these people were philosophers, they were physicists, they were mathematicians, they were all of these things. And that's just because the whole world of information was so limited that you could be all of these things at the same time. But within astrophysics, I can't tell you very much about black holes. That's something that's like a very big part of many people's field, but it's a very specific thing. And within the study of black holes, you could be studying merging black holes, you could be studying black holes that are causing other types of emissions from galaxies. Galaxies, many of them have what's called an active galactic nuclei, which is a giant black hole in the middle that's pulling a lot of material in and then shooting it out at close to light speed. And it looks really cool, but like it's stuff that I don't study because it's really niche and specific. So we've gotten to a point where everyone is studying something so niche and specific where people used to study kind of everything at once. And it's like, that's just showing you how far we've come. Like, I can't be a mathematician at the same time as a physicist because I have too much to do. Like, my entire life has to be devoted to answering questions about these really early galaxies because that's just, there's so much to do in this one field now.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool. It's like, it's an homage to all the work that's been done by everybody else. It would be a real shame to not continue it. I would say another justification for the work is just people are really curious about astronomy.
Yeah.
People love to learn about this type of thing. I've had the opportunity to give talks in a number of places to people who are just really curious about, something really fundamental to like, what is a galaxy, to something that's more complex to, well, how do stars form? How do the elements that we have now, how did they even form if everything in the universe was just hydrogen and some helium at the start? It's like it's really cool is, I guess, the justification for doing all of this study is that it's just awesome. It's just like it's a cool thing to do. Yeah.
I love that, and I love to see, I love anybody's passion and like what they are interested in, and just like seeing
Yep.
that. And I love that you love space and the stars.
Yeah.
And
Like in
things.
terms of being useful, I am not useful. Like there is,
Me neither.
I don't compare to doctors. I don't compare. I mean, I'm a doctor, but like the medical doctors.
Yeah, and that's right. You are
Yeah.
a doctor. Mark it.
Yeah. I don't compare to them in terms of usefulness. If you were stuck on a desert island with somebody of any skill, don't get an astrophysicist. I'm going to tell you lots about galaxies and we'll die together in a really cool way. But there are people who do all of these things that are really practical and necessary, but there are also people who do things that are very interesting and thought-provoking and make life more worth living, I guess. Like, if you can... No offense to anybody listening to this. If you're an actor, you're not doing something that's useful, but you are entertaining people, you are making life worth living, and that is just as valuable as people who help you sustain your life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like, you don't want to just live, you want to thrive, right? Like, you want to enjoy your life while you're here. So, like, all of these jobs are useful in some sense, they're just not actually practical. And, like, we get a lot of money in astronomy to do the things that we're doing because building these telescopes is really expensive. Doing all this research is a life's work and requires funding. So yeah, we eat up a lot of money, but also I think we bring value to just the collective knowledge of humanity and the like interest of people. Like I think kids love learning about astronomy, and it's just because that's kind of where I fell in love with it, was when I was a kid. And it's like, yeah, we want to bring like inspiration into people's lives in that sense. So yeah, I'm not useful in the same way that a medical doctor is useful, but I think what I'm doing is useful in the way that makes life worth living.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay, so your PhD,
Mhm.
it is complete.
Yeah.
Did you find out? Did you find out what happened to the screen?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I want a yes or no.
Okay. The short answer is no. This is the field itself is much larger. It's not like the field that I've described is larger. What I very specifically did, I answered some questions on.
Oh, cool.
So, a lot of the work that I did was, I started off in this field just kind of studying what I was being told to study, which is, yeah, let's go study these early galaxies and see what was up with them. But when I was doing this, I kind of found out that the way that people do this is really inconsistent. So scientists in different parts of the world use their favorite methods to get the same values, but then is it really equivalent, the way that everyone is doing things differently and getting to the same conclusions? What I found was no. Like, a lot of my research was focused on let's judge everybody else's work and like kind of put it all together and see if people are doing things consistently, if the conclusions that we can draw from all of this work are going to lead us in a direction based on the reality or based on our own biases and influences.
Ooh.
So a big part of my project, not the entire project, but a big part of it that like I'm proud of because I came up with and led it myself, was just kind of fact checking in a way. Like everyone has good justification for doing things the way that they did it,
Yeah.
but if I applied one person's method to another person's data, do I get to reproduce what they concluded?
Yeah.
The answer was no a lot of the time. A lot of the time, if you use a different method, you get a different number, and this number can completely change how long it takes the screen to disappear, for example.
Oh.
So,
Were people mad? Did you make enemies with your
So-
PhD? Was there drama?
So, okay, there's no... I didn't make any enemies, thankfully. Like, I don't think I'm a big enough fish to stir the pot. That's two different analogies.
But we
together.
we understood.
Yeah.
That one I followed.
Yeah. Idioms, no, whatever. I did talk to people who had built the different codes, for example, that different people were using, and I was like, hey, when you do this, you get this answer, but if you do this instead, then you get a different answer, and this changes everything. What do we do about it? And there's not a whole lot that can be done because each of these methods has good justification. You need to like come at this from a different angle of like, well, let's look at the theory again underneath everything instead of the methods. Let's look at the theory and try to break it down and see, well, okay, is there a better method to use based on what we believe is the best leading theories now? Some of the codes that are being used are much older than other codes. Some of the
Are all these people still alive?
Plenty of people are alive. Plenty of people who are working on this are alive.
Okay.
I do get to talk to them. People who have built certain things. It's some of this. This is, again, I'm working on like things that are really new.
Yeah.
Some of these codes that I'm using are only like 20 years old. Some of them are only like 5 years old.
But no one was upset.
Yeah, like people aren't upset really. Like thankfully, people aren't upset when I tell them that the methodology needs to be looked at because, the philosophy in science is like you shouldn't be really tied to the answer and working toward an answer. You should be using what you have to work toward a conclusion that is based on the fact that you have. But if you are biased, if you are tied to what you believe, then you're going to kind of alter, like you're pulling away from science and going more towards just like, this is what my belief is as opposed to what the data is telling me.
Yeah.
So people who I told that, hey, maybe the conclusions you come up with are only relevant to the method that you used are going, well, yeah, okay, that's a fair point. Like, let's think about how do we improve the methods. So people weren't really mad.
Oh.
Which is also like, it reflects well on the scientific community to not be tied to an answer. I think astronomy has a really like low, like there are no stakes. If this galaxy didn't create or didn't do what I'm saying it did, and a different galaxy did, who cares? I'm not saying that like cigarettes are good for you in the same way that many of the other sciences could be biased by their funding. The galaxies aren't funding an agenda, so like we don't care so much. Yeah, it is pure in that sense. Yeah. People might have their favorite theory and might push for it, but it's not going to be as strong as maybe some of the other sciences.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much politics in some of the other sciences, and like there's politics in astronomy as well. But like, you like, at least we get to dodge some of it in that people who are funding it just want to know the answers. They don't want to say that their product is not dangerous or whatever. For example, like maybe in chemistry they might have some issues.
Oh, I have so many follow-up questions, but we need to end. We need to end it somewhere, and so we're going to end it here. Ravi, do you mind saying how old you are?
I think I said it at some point. I'm 27.
27 years old, a PhD in astrophysics, a master's in...
Oh, I did an honors in physics. Oh, astrophysics as well, yeah.
Astrophysics, and then your undergrad?
Was in chemistry and physics, so...
Okay. So you really actually haven't accomplished that much.
Oh, hey.
I was saying that just to be so... Sorry, that was said with a lot of sarcasm. Like, honestly, you're like just starting off your career.
Yeah.
You're super new to the field.
Yeah.
No, what I'm trying to get at is the fact that you are 27 years old and have already accomplished so much.
Oh.
So what's next?
Oh, okay, sure. This is a very sweet interview. I
just can't imagine being like in your position of life, just like PhD in hand, 27 in astrophysics. Like, I just can't imagine. Like, how do you...
Well, the thing is, I've also, like, there was at least 2 years between high school and now, which I wasted, which I guess would have... well, saying wasted means...
Wasted,
yeah,
sure,
like,
yeah.
not spent studying. If I was 2 years advanced, I could have finished this at 25. That would have been pretty cool.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just, yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy. What, I think... Because I'm older than you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nuts.
But you worked.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I only worked alongside studying, and I would say the work was more research work. I've never done like a real job.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know how much of this people care about. All the work I've ever done has been research into like bioengineering. I've done some research. I've done some research in dark matter physics, which is more particle physics than astronomy sometimes. I did a bunch of research manipulating DNA to make little robots.
So where do you go from here?
So at the moment, I am looking for research positions over in institutes like the Center for Astrophysics over in Harvard, for example. Which, yes, is in the US, so I might end up in the US. Look, you guys have a lot going on, and I don't know. I don't know how. It's a very prestigious like position. I would love to get it, but also you guys have a lot going on in the US right now. It's a little scary.
Yeah, but like Harvard though.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think that would look nice next to your PhD. You know,
Yeah,
little
yeah.
Harvard, little
Yeah.
elite school.
There's
you know,
a bunch of
yeah.
universities over in Europe that I've been applying to. Yeah, I'll basically be doing more research in this very niche field. I've tried applying for research that's like very slightly outside of it, and people are like, no, there is somebody who has been spending their entire PhD and postdoc or whatever working on this. We would much rather hire somebody like that. So I like need to stick to my niche.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So you're committed.
unfortunately.
Do you like it?
I actually really do. So I think
yeah.
what I'm studying is really cool. I also just kind of have some ideas of what I want to do in other fields or like in related fields, which I would love to get the chance to do, but like it's really hard. But it's whatever. Like I'll get a job somewhere in this. I hope my ideal place would still be to stay in Australia.
Yeah.
But Australia doesn't have as much jobs, so
Wow.
it is what it is.
Okay.
I don't want to go to America and learn how to tip. I don't get it.
No, it's the worst. It's
Yeah.
actually terrible.
I don't get it. Do you guys have to pay for water when you go to restaurants?
No.
Okay.
And we do get free refills
Okay, excellent. Like
on soda.
Europe annoys me so much with I remember sorry, you'd asked for like pet peeves and I was like, Europe paying for water at restaurants, disgusting, unfathomable.
That's the hill you'll die on.
That is the hill I would die on.
Is
You should always be able to get free water at restaurants.
that's a good one, Ravi. I
Like-
love that.
Like some people don't have money and they need water, man. Like just give them water.
Yeah.
It's not expensive to have water. And in Europe, water might be like €3 and then a Fanta will be 3.6. Like you didn't save anything really by just going for the water. It encourages bad habits. Just drink water and have it be free. Water should be free. You didn't cook it. You didn't do anything to it. Just give us water.
I love that. Oh, and I think that's where we'll end.
Okay, we're ending on a complaining note.
No, well, that's how we always end. It's
Okay,
the
good.
hills will die on.
Excellent,
And you just
yeah.
produced a beautiful one for us. Ravi, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for teaching me. I mean, I learned a lot. And I guarantee there's going to be so many of my listeners in their car, cleaning their house, Manu in the shower, it's just going to have a lot that they took away from this, who's going to feel so much smarter, because that is the thing. Every time I have a conversation with you, I leave feeling so much more intelligent, because you spoke to me at my level. You made me not feel dumb, even though, arguably some of this stuff I should have known. But, you know what? That's okay! And thank you. Thank you for teaching me all the things. Thank you for your work in your fields, and just for being my friend.
That's so sweet. Okay, you're very welcome. You don't need to thank me for being friends. This is a very enjoyable, mutually happy friendship. I've learned a lot as well through you about all the things that you study as well, so it's very interesting.
Thank you. I love
Yeah.
that, everyone's got to have their niche, their fields. Listen, everybody, you're smart in your own ways.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you. And we're going to end it here. Will you sign us out, Ravi?
Thanks for listening to Our Thoughts on Life, because this has been Life According to Nikki.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. before you run off, there was one clarification that needed to occur, okay? Let us keep in mind that I was asking Ravi questions that had nothing to do with his degree, and he came up with all of that just on the spot. He, knew those things. So you know what? We're going to give him some grace for getting the compounds incorrect for the beginnings of the Earth, okay? Do you remember that section in the very beginning when he talked about that experiment that was done where they pumped in, the material or whatever the Earth was made out of in the beginnings of time? Apparently he said the wrong things. He texted me to correct himself. So this is really more for Ravi than anyone else, because I know not a soul is going to know that he got it wrong that listens to this podcast. But Ravi, you and the nerds like you out there, this one's for you. The original compounds, the original compounds, not elements, but molecules that the Earth had in its very beginnings was methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water vapor. And that experiment that was conducted was the Miller-Urey experiment. So there we go. That was the only correction out of that entire thing that needed to occur. And once again, I'm amazed at how smart my friends are. Thank you again to Ravi for coming on the pod. And everybody, please, I love you so much. Please rate and review. And you know what? Share the pod. Share it. It's about time. If you have rated and you have reviewed, go tell a friend. Okay? It is time to get the word out. Guys, please. You know I love you. You know that there are plenty of listeners on here, and we need more. We need more people to know. So go spread the word. Carry it to all nations, tongues, and people. Let them know. Nikki is interviewing just the cream of the crop, flight attendants, Philippines, celebrities, astrophysicists, divorcees. I'm interviewing everybody, all right? If you got something interesting to say, you're going to say it on my pod. And maybe, if you want to be on the pod, DM me. Let me know. Hit me up. Okay, I love you all. Please go tell a friend, and have a great week.